Joe, President Trump and Putin are set to meet in Alaska on Friday. Trump has told the media today that he's going to know very quickly, he said, within 2 minutes, whether he can reach a deal with Putin. Now, there's been the suggestion that Trump doesn't want to get into the weeds with the territorial deals, that he wants to leave that up to Zelensky and Putin. But isn't this precisely what needs to be done for a ceasefire to be agreed on? You know, the weeds over who gets what territory and whether there is a concession from Ukraine to Russia.
Look, Sherry, I think you're right. At the end of the day, there will need to be some sort of understanding about what's happening with territory. This is going to be one of the key, perhaps the key question when we're talking about some sort of permanent settlement and peace in Eastern Europe. So I think you're right to identify that. I think the concern that Europe and Ukraine has is Donald Trump getting excited about his meeting with Putin and then seeking to impose an arrangement on Ukraine. So I think that's why the meeting that Trump had with European leaders was significant. But at the end of the day, I think Ukraine will have to be dealt into the equation, and that issue which you've identified is going to have to be solved. I don't think it's going to be solved in this meeting with Putin, though.
Yeah, it's amazing how there's just not as much focus on the loss of life in the Russia-Ukraine war as there is in the Middle East. Doesn't that strike you as unusual, given this has been running for a bit longer and more than 1 million people have been killed?
Well, I certainly think that that Washington hasn't lost focus on that particular issue, Shari. It's one of the things that Donald Trump says nearly every time this topic comes up. So that's certainly at the front of his mind. He's trying to ensure that that has a broad reach and people understand that when they think about what's going on in Eastern Europe. And certainly the numbers are very depressing. It's the bloodiest conflict since World War II in Europe. So certainly that is at the top of Donald Trump's mind. And remember, he is trying to present himself as the ultimate peacemaker and unifier.
Indeed. All right, Joe Kelly, thanks so much for your time.